News Talk 610 AM and 102.1 FM. KVNU.
KVNU News Time is 4:03. I'm Bill Walter with this news update brought to you by Logan Extermination. Tooele County Sheriff's Office is investigating a deadly fire in a remote part of Tooele County early Thursday morning. The passerby called 911 shortly after midnight, reporting a fire along Pony Express Road near Lookout Pass. According to Sergeant Nicholas Yale with the Tooele County Sheriff's Office, when firefighters arrived, they encountered a fully engulfed truck, cargo trailer, and roughly an acre of surrounding wildland on fire. After they were able to knock down the fire in the truck and cargo trailer, they located one person deceased inside. They are still working to determine the identity of the person. While the cause remains under investigation, foul play is not suspected. The state fire marshal is assisting the investigation. The fire burned roughly 2.5 acres of wildland, according to Yale. KVNU News Time is 4:04. KVNU weather for tonight. Mostly clear skies, but patchy fog after midnight, low around 30, and then a 40% chance of rain in the afternoon on Saturday, high temperature in the low 50s. Slight chance of rain Saturday evening, then mostly cloudy, chance of rain after midnight. Rain in the morning on Sunday, then rain and snow likely in the afternoon. Now they're saying some accumulation is possible Sunday with the snow, high temperature in the mid-40s. That's where we've been today. 46 has been our high so far. It's 46 right now at KVNU. KVNU weather brought to you by Napa Auto Parts. Weather is changing. Napa has what you need to have your car ready for winter. Get more cranking power with a Napa Legend or AAA battery. Save on silicone wiper blades from Trico or Rain-X at your 5 locations of Napa Auto Parts from Preston to Providence.
Hi there. We're your new neighbors, the Voles. I'm Horrible, and this is my wife, Terrible. Hi! It's been such a great summer, we gotta have an army of children. Now we're fixing to tear up your yard. The only warning sign of us is some surface tunneling holes, and then boom! Yard death! What do you think? Should we get started, Ma? Yep. These guys aren't gonna call the troops at Logan Extermination.
Voles are a problem. They can tear up your lawn and garden. But there is something you can do. Call Logan Extermination at 752-8450.
KVNU News Time is 4:05. Funeral services were held for President M. Russell Ballard of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints today at the Tabernacle on Temple Square. Quentin L. Cook, who's a fellow member in the Quorum of the 12 Apostles, said President M. Russell Ballard was a mentor to each member of the Quorum and many, many others.
One of the reasons he has been such a great missionary and leader is his love for people, all people. Everyone he met realized he was truly interested in them and any challenges that they faced. Ballard
died surrounded by loved ones on Sunday last week. He had recently transitioned back home after a hospital stay. Immediately after the service, a private burial was set to take place at the Salt Lake City Cemetery. And starting immediately, some roads accessing local canyons will be closed to motorized and mechanized vehicle traffic, according to officials from Cache County Public Works. Those seasonal winter gate closures will be in effect until April 15th, 2024, in accordance with a county resolution. These closures are intended to protect public safety, reduce maintenance costs, maintain water quality, and prevent erosion during snowy and icy conditions. Landowners who have ownership rights in these closed areas can obtain keys from the Cache County Public Works Department. A map of road locations as well as up-to-date information on current road conditions in Cache County can be found at cachecounty.org/publicworks. For information on road closure and conditions in the Cache National Forest, residents are urged to contact the Logan Ranger District. KVNU News Time is 4:07. For more details on these and other stories, visit CacheValleyDaily.com.
As our world changes, we'll keep you up to date. News Talk KVNU, 102 FM, 610 AM. Also on the new KVNU mobile app.
Out here at Anderson Seed and Garden, it's the Christmas open house. This continues until 6 o'clock tonight, and then again all day tomorrow. As we were mentioning last hour, you can come in, take part in the scavenger hunt, have a chance to win some amazing prizes, plus also a fully decorated Christmas tree. And on top of that, if you need help decorating the outside of your house, Anderson Seed and Garden can help you with that as well. Am I right, Mark?
Oh, absolutely. So for years, we've been doing custom-cut Christmas lights for our customers and also for some commercial installers as well, too. And so we can cut, outdoor lights to whatever length you need. So like, say, the frontage of your house is 63 feet, and that would cover your eaves all the way across. We can cut it right to 63 feet. If you go with LED lights, we can set it all up on one plug, so you can just run your whole house on one plug, because you can do way more LED lights than you can with your incandescents. It's not like Clark Griswold anymore. We have to worry about pulling too much power and having
extension cord.
Oh yeah, and having your breakers flip all the time. It's on 1,000 feet of LED, C7 bulbs, what you would put on your house outside. We can run that off of one plug, and that's a lot of lights. So we just don't have that problem anymore where we've got the LEDs. And the great thing about our outdoor lights is we've got color changing lights as well too. So you can program them with an app on your phone to do whatever color combination you want. So if you want lights for St. Patrick's Day, you can do St. Patrick's Day. You can do Easter colors. You can do red, white, and blue for the for the 4th of July. You can do Halloween. You can do Thanksgiving, and of course Christmas colors as well too. You can program them throughout the year. So these are kind of install them, leave them up, and use them as all-around, year-round holiday lights. So it's really great. So, but we've brought in our own brand of lights. So they're called Link lights, and the Link lights we've always had in clear, but this year we've got them in colors as well too. And the Link lights you can change the colors on those as well too. So I've got a little remote control that's infrared, and you can change it from red to green to blue. You can do multicolors. You can have it do different functions where it'll kind of fade in and out of different colors. It will transition from one to the next. It'll strobe. I don't like the strobe very much, but but it's some people love the strobe. But
perfect for New Year's Eve maybe. And they can also help you with installation as well. It's Anderson Seed and Garden. Their Christmas open house continues till 6 tonight here in downtown Logan, and again all day tomorrow, 69 West Center, downtown Logan.
Attention homeowners, winter is just around the corner, and that means now is the time to call Hall Tree Care for your last chance to get your overgrown trees trimmed before the snow starts falling. Overgrown trees are a ticking time bomb once the snow hits. Hall Tree Care's expert arborist and cleanup crew know exactly how to handle those unruly trees. They'll trim, prune, and secure your trees so they stand strong against winter's wrath. Call 760-6587. That's HULL Tree Care, 760-6587.
This holiday season, we're grateful for you at Murdoch Chevrolet. Let's celebrate together during our Season of Giving sales event.
We're grateful for your trust, your loyalty, and the moments you've shared with us. Right now, take up to $7,000 off a new Silverado Custom.
When you walk through our doors, you feel like family.
At Murdoch Chevrolet in Logan and Woods Cross, or online at murdochchev.com. Chevrolet, find new roads.
Call 866-628-3065 as a dealer for complete details. Offer expires 11/30/23.
For 125 years, S.C. Needham Jewelers has been known for quality jewelry at affordable prices. We have a beautiful selection of diamond jewelry, birthstone jewelry, gold and silver, pearls, and mother's rings. Show your fine taste with a beautifully wrapped gift. Prices start in $29. This year we were voted as #1 jeweler in the best of Northern Utah. Come enjoy our festive atmosphere and select a beautiful piece of jewelry this Christmas. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 7. S.C. Needham Jewelers, middle of the block, at the sign of the clock.
When it comes to home care, it's important to know you have a choice. If you or a loved one is in need of hospice or home health services, remember that Primrose Home Care and Hospice believes in treating the patient as well as the problem. We work directly with you and your doctor to create a health plan that's catered to your needs. Our team is devoted to providing options in the freedom and safety of your own home. Visit us at primrosecare.com or call to schedule a free consultation. Primrose Home Care and Hospice, your local hospice and home health provider since 2006.
For the people.
We are waiting with bated breath for news from the Cash Republican Party meeting an executive committee tonight.
With Jason Williams.
And I'm really excited about this next segment. We have two guests here in studio. We're going to talk about something that we've talked about many times here on the show, but from a bit of a different angle.
Weekday afternoons from 4 till 6 on News Talk KVNU, 610 AM and 102 FM.
Welcome to KVNU's For the People. It is Friday. I'm really excited it's Friday this week. It is Friday, November 6th.
17th. I know, it's hard to... It's one of those...
Did you hear me
it's a weird
pause
month,
as
because I never know what date it is. Usually I get a handle on the days and dates early on in the month, but this month has just been... It's like, okay, what day is the 17th? I thought it was Thursday.
Well, I'll be honest. I don't think I've looked at a calendar all week. It's just been one of those weeks. But yeah,
it's half over.
My brain said, "No, you said the 16th yesterday."
Yeah,
so
you're not allowed to say it 2 days in a row.
There,
yeah.
But Bill, I did something so risky today. Bill and I joke about this, despite how unorganized and down to the last minute I can be.
Didn't
on a
have
daily
to do
basis.
With road rage, did it?
No.
Okay.
But despite how unorganized I can be, Bill and I joke about the fact that in the 16 years plus now that I've been coming in here every afternoon, there has only been one show that wasn't covered. And that was actually a miscommunication between me and some co-hosts at the time on who was going to be here. Someone was coming back from a trip. And I knew I was going to be gone, and then another co-host on late notice was going to be gone. I said, "Don't worry."
So I just played
the other
music.
co-host is going to be back today, and then that co-host they took an extra day, and didn't tell us that. Well, they told us that, but we didn't see the message or something like that. But yeah, anyway,
it was too late.
In all that time, that is the only show that outside of some emergencies, we had. Some surprises in the pandemic where people had to be out and we didn't have a week's worth of shows recorded and things like that. But it was, other than that, there's never been just a regular day in which the show went to start and no one was here or we didn't have a best of recorded. Today, I did something that could have changed that.
Uh-oh.
I looked at the clock. So I really needed a couple of things, and I mean needed them in that it was actually super important. And I was near Costco. I was actually on my way here about 3 o'clock, and I thought, you know what? It's only 3 o'clock. I can run into Costco really quick.
You needed a hot dog.
I needed. It was
a cheap
urgent.
Hot dog.
No, I needed something that I could get really anywhere, but I knew that I knew Costco had it, and Costco had it in a 4-pack, and I was going to need 4 of them, and I thought, you know what, I can do it. I can just run into Costco really quick. I'm only getting that one thing, I said to myself, believing it too, I got in there and I got in that mindset, that shopping mindset. I'm seeing all this stuff I don't really need, but kind of want, but maybe need. I don't know. And I'm looking and I look down at I pull my phone out of my pocket. I get a text. I pull my phone out of my pocket, and Bill, you will panic. I haven't checked out yet either when I see this. Pull my phone out of my pocket, and want to guess what time it was?
It was showtime.
It was 3:47. And I thought, well, I'm just going to have to push this cart to the side of the aisle like I didn't have anything to do with it and walk out of here because I'm looking at the checkout and it's just anyway. So I walk up and
Friday afternoons are usually pretty busy there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, any afternoon, but yeah, especially Fridays, especially as you near the holidays too. So I walk up and I'm still thinking about this. I'm still thinking I'm just going to leave my cart I'm sorry, people, whoever has to restock all this stuff. And then I realized I've got perishables that will last in like the cooler bag I carry with me, but they're not going to last in a cart. And then I started to feel bad. And so right then, an employee walks past me and says, I'm kind of pointed at self-checkout, but I'm looking at that line thinking, no way. There's no way I can make it to the station by 4 and still check out here. What was I thinking coming to Costco at 3 o'clock on the day that I have a show? And employee says, this is a secret. We have, and this ties in with, we talked about self-checkout earlier this week. This is why I wanted to bring this up today. Employee says, we have timed it. And I don't doubt them because, you know, if you've ever had a job for a long time, it gets pretty routine and you find ways to entertain yourself, right? Employee tells me, we have timed people. We've made a note with a stopwatch on a phone of when someone steps into a line in self-checkout, and then we time, and then we kind of look at the number of items they have, make a guess, and then we time them going through. And he said, unless you walk up to self-checkout and there's one open, there's no one in front of you. If you walk up and there's a line at self-checkout, going through the line where an actual human being scans your items for you and puts it back in the cart or a box for you, he said 4 times faster.
Wow.
So he said, if I were you, head down to that one right there where there's only 3 people in front of you, because the line for self-checkout went clear back, you know, up the aisle.
Yeah.
And so I did. I went in, I got behind 3 people, and I made a mental note as I'm doing this. And I have a text to Bill saying, you know, ready to go, saying, might want to run that emergency segment. But
or just talk real slow doing
just
the news.
Talk about something for a little bit. I watch this person is going through the line. It was in the line, 3 people in front of her in self-checkout and 3 people in front of me. And she did have more items than I did, but not a lot more. And I watched, and I was done. I was pushing my cart away from the checkout desk there, headed to the door with plenty of time to get here and a big sigh of relief going through my head. And she was not to the register yet, her self-checkout register, as I left the Costco.
Well, now the self-checkout, is it like other stores like Winco, for example? They say, you know, in most stores, actually, 15 items or less in the self-checkout. Do they try to limit you at Costco?
Costco is whatever. I don't think Costco has a limit anywhere on
so if you have 50
of their
items.
Yeah, they don't have like an express checkout or anything. Yeah, it's but yeah, I was surprised by that. Now I'm not claiming that my one-off experiment here on Scientific confirms what the employee told me, that it's 4 times faster. But I do believe
it was faster.
I do believe on this experience that, you know, we talked about this on an earlier show this week with a story with retail data showing that the big chains at least are rethinking all this self-checkout business because they're seeing an uptick in unpurchased items leaving the inventory. We'll put it that way, because I don't want to call it shoplifting because that implies an intent. They believe that most of this is happening through accident. People scanning one item when there's actually 2 tucked together. That was an experience I actually had personally that I told earlier this week, buying a funnel for my oil changes, and I didn't realize another funnel was tucked right inside. But they believe that some of this is not people coming in intending to shoplift. They believe that it's, people get frustrated. Something won't scan. They try and try and try, and then they're just like, you know what, fine, and they throw it in the bag and don't pay for it. They also believe some of this is, intentional. In fact, they've discovered some scams that people do. One that's on the incline right now is they're catching a lot of people swapping barcodes and price tags because if you're scanning it yourself, it's less likely to be noticed. And then so you're scanning a $14 item for a $1.99 price tag. And so there's a lot of that they're catching people for. And by the way, that is shoplifting, and you will still be cuffed and perp walked out of the store. They do that on purpose, by the way, to embarrass you and to remind others not to do it. So this is kind of piggybacking on that. Because I've read about this before too, and we talk about this with traffic all the time. And my gripe about people trying to turn left across Main Street on a Friday afternoon or any afternoon, and why psychologically they think that's faster because, well, I'm going north. So obviously if I'm coming from a parking lot on the west side of Main Street, I need to turn left to go north because that's my route. And then you wait 25, 30 minutes to do that and almost get in 7 accidents and cause 7 more when you could have just turned right, gone around the block to a light.
And you probably would be at your destination.
On your way by the time you even got your left-hand turn trying to go across Main Street. So there's this psychological thing that happens where we believe something's faster because it...
Well, in many stores, self-checkout is indeed faster.
If you walk up...
Especially if you don't have that many items.
If you've got 5 things, and I've experienced this at Walmart, if you've got 5 things and you walk up and there is no one else, or I mean, there's others, but there are plenty of choices of checkout stations. And same, I've had this experience at Lowe's as well. You can scan those items, put them in a bag, no small talk, scan your card and leave in 2-3 minutes. So, self-checkout itself, I'm not saying is slower, but I got thinking about this as I was driving here, my experience and what the employee there at Costco told me. I do believe there might be a little bit of a psychological trick happening there where we might think, because it's self-checkout and you can scan your items super fast. You don't have to chit-chat with the clerk. They're not going to ask you. There's no one to ask you questions. Do you have a coupon, things like that? You know all these answers. So you can just get it done.
Are you doing anything fun later
are you doing
today?
anything fun this weekend? Which is a fun question unless you're in a hurry, and then it's an irritating thing. But it psychologically seems faster. But going through my experience today and what this employee told me, going through a line with someone professional, because, man, I tell you, the woman who was scanning my items and putting them back in the cart, she knew what she was doing. And they were scanned and back in a box sitting in my cart in an orderly fashion even, tucked in there like a puzzle. And I was, scanning my card and checking out before someone who was at the same spot as me in line at self-checkout with kind of an equal number of items, maybe a few more. But that's kind of irrelevant because she hadn't even gotten to the checkout register yet. She had 3 people in front of her. I had 3 people in front of me. I left the store before she'd start scanning her first item. So I think psychologically it might seem faster. Unscientific, I know, but my experience today, not faster at all, self-checkout. If there's a line. As you said, Bill, if you walk up and there's nobody there and you just start scanning, you can scan your stuff, be out of there and done. But this today, I was out of there far faster than someone in the same number of people.
And you were the
in line.
beneficiary of somebody's Tetris skills and just
it was
placing
amazing.
everything just right in your basket.
Watching her do that, I would love to know how. But talk about skill. I think for a couple of reasons we maybe need to start rethinking self-checkout. What do you think? 753-5868. We'll be back right after this.
CNBC News reported Wall Street has purchased hundreds of thousands of single-family homes since the Great Recession. It also reported institutional investors may control 40% of U.S. rental homes by 2030. Have you noticed your neighborhood struggling, converting into short-term rentals and apartments? Logan City Council is considering raising rental home limitations from 3 unrelated residents to 4. What does Joe think?
This is Joe Needham. My platform says no to more rentals in our residential zones. Give me your vote, and let's take back our neighborhoods. More information at votejoeneedham.com.
Paid for by Joe Needham for Logan City Council.
The Cash Education Foundation's Christmas Tree Jubilee, presented by DWA Construction, is Monday, November 20th. But you can bid now on exclusive experiences and amazing gifts for family and friends. Visit 32auctions.com/CEF 2023. That's the number 32auctions.com/CEF 2023. Log on now and start bidding. 32auctions.com/CEF 2023.
They love home game days at Locker 42. Saturday, it's the end of the home football season when the Aggies host Boise State. A 5 p.m. kickoff means cooler game temperatures and dressing warmly with a jacket and hat from Locker 42. or stay really warm with an Igloo fan wrap. Full of unique Aggie items and apparel, Locker 42, a store exclusively for Aggie fans.
Welcome back to KVNU's For the People. Andy Morgan joining us for the For the People movie show soon. We wrap up early today, 5:45. So to try and make best use of Andy's time and the many reviews actually that he has today, he's going to try and get her a bit early again, so we can get everything we can in. But it is a listener chiming in here. The listener said, au contraire is how this message begins, Bill. Agree with you and Bill. If you walk up and there is no one in the self-checkout line, you can scan your stuff and be out of there a lot faster sometimes. Unless you have the bad luck that I have of picking up an item that doesn't scan alongside an item that had a security tag, clothing in parentheses, and an item that in the end didn't have a tag. I had to press the help button, wait for an attendant to come.
Which sometimes takes a while.
Yeah. It took 3 clerks to sort this out, not blaming them, but they had to run all over the store trying to find these items in another location from where I had found mine and get the price. They also couldn't find the tool to remove it because, ironically, they were all in use at the actual checkouts where people are manning the stations, and so they had to wait until one was free. And she said, after this, I have never gone through a self-checkout again. These were things that would have been solved much more quickly. These are things that I know happen. I'm not complaining about the store or any of the employees. They all helped me as quickly as possible. But because I was in self-checkout, I believe it took 3 to 4 times longer than it would have had I been going through a traditional checkout station. That's a good point. You know, if something does go wrong, it does take a bit more to get help and sort things out at a self-checkout station. So, all right. Chime in, 753-5868. I'm saying it was a lot faster today to go through a station with an actual person in it as opposed to the self-checkout because there were lengthy lines at both. And I also had an employee of this establishment tell me that when they'd gotten bored, they'd timed it with various customers going through with what they guessed were a similar number of items. And they said they believed that the checkout with an actual employee was about 4 times faster. Earlier this week, we talked about self-checkout drawing some criticism inside retail industry. In fact, some big retailers considering moving away from it a bit after the latest shoplifting data came in, showing that self-checkout seems to be facilitating a lot of shoplifting. What do you think? 753-5868. We'll be back right after this.
KVNU News Time is 4:31. I'm Bill Walter with this KVNU News Update brought to you by U&I Furniture. Investigators are still looking at that accident from yesterday. A 54-year-old Newton woman died in a single vehicle crash west of Smithfield. The accident was reported just after 3 p.m. along SR 218 between Amalga and Newton. Utah Highway Patrol Sergeant Cade Brenchley said the woman was driving eastbound near 3000 West SR 218 when she went off the roadway.
For an unknown reason, she drifted off the road to the right and ended up taking out a power pole, and it spun her car around. A witness said he thinks her vehicle going airborne, and then it ended up spinning around, landing upside down in this canal.
No other vehicles were involved in the crash. A man who was working nearby was the only witness of the accident and immediately called 911. Brenchley said there was several feet of water in the canal. The car was found partially submerged when paramedics from the Smithfield City Fire Department arrived on scene.
We ended up having to use a Rocky Mountain power truck to hook on and pull it up a little bit just to give them some space to be able to get to her. And they did get her out, but at this point she did die in the crash.
The woman was the only occupant in the vehicle. We still have not learned her identity, pending notification of family. A fire that erupted in a Bountiful home left one person dead Thursday afternoon. Crews with the South Davis Metro Fire Service reported that they responded to reports of heavy smoke that could be seen spewing from the chimney and attic eaves of a Bountiful residence on the afternoon of Thursday. The home's address was not specified. Upon arrival, crews entered and found a deceased person who had been unable to exit the house once it caught fire. South Davis firefighters said they were able to extinguish the fire and stayed on scene to assist in the investigation, which remains ongoing. No cause was reported. KBNU News Time is 4:33.
Thank you. UNI Furniture wants to say thank you to all of their friends and customers. UNI Furniture is grateful to be a family business, now in their 5th generation. For over 90 years, they've always offered a good product at a good price. And that's why they say you'll always find a better buy at UNI. Stop by and see them this holiday season with lots of store-wide specials and great bargains. Purchase any sofa or sectional, and UNI says thank you with $100 off on any chair to go with it. UNI Furniture in downtown Logan.
A suspect is dead, but state police remain on the scene of a shooting at a psychiatric hospital in Concord, New Hampshire.
An active shooter situation occurred at the New Hampshire State Hospital and was contained to the front lobby. There is no active shooter threat to the public.
Colonel Mark Hall, director of the New Hampshire State Police, would not comment on the number of people shot, their conditions, or the motive of the shooter. The Pentagon says there have been more than 60 attacks on U.S. troops in Iraq or Syria by Iran-backed militants. 62 service members received minor injuries or traumatic brain injuries. The board of GPT maker OpenAI has pushed out its CEO and co-founder Sam Altman after a review found he wasn't consistently candid in his communications with the board. The chief technology officer, Mira Murati, has been named interim CEO. Former First Lady Rosalind Carter joining her husband, former President Jimmy Carter, in hospice care at their home in Plains, Georgia. Daria Albinger, ABC News.
KVNU weather for tonight. Mostly clear skies, but patchy fog after midnight, low around 30. Then a 40% chance of rain by afternoon tomorrow. Slight chance of rain in the evening, then chance of rain after midnight. And then rain and snow mix on Sunday. And they are saying now possible accumulations on Sunday on the valley floor, mid-40s for the high temperature. There is a winter storm watch in effect for the mountains of northern Utah starting Saturday night going till Monday morning. It's been to 46. It's 45 right now at KBNU. Download the Chevron app and join Chevron Rewards. Then you can save $1 per gallon on your next 3 visits. Visit any Cache Valley Chevron station for details. You can always get more news at CacheValleyDaily.com. Let's get a business update now, brought to you by Edward Jones.
From ABC News, Wall Street now. It may not have been by much, but stocks closed higher to end the week. The Dow rose just 2 points, the Nasdaq added 12 for the session. The S&P closed up 6. Trading was quiet as the markets rolled to a third straight winning week. It could be quiet next week, too, with a lot of people away for Thanksgiving. Members of the United Auto Workers Union are close to approving contract agreements with Stellantis and Ford, with voting at both companies overwhelmingly in favor. Just a few facilities at each company have yet to cast ballots in the voting, which ends on Saturday. Workers at General Motors have already ratified the deal. Add the European Union and entertainment giant Lionsgate to IBM and a growing list of companies that are pulling ads from the social media platform X over concern that their ads are showing up next to owner Elon Musk's tweets, which endorse an anti-Semitic conspiracy theory, or next to pro-Nazi hate speech on the site in general. Daria Albinger, ABC News.
Out here at Anderson Seed and Garden for the Christmas open house continues through the weekend. We're here with Mark Anderson, and not only is this weekend a big one for you, but next weekend also is going to be huge.
Oh, yeah, for sure. On Saturday, we have the Christmas parade and tree lighting ceremony right here on Center Street and at the new plaza. So there's a lot of different activities and events going on. So, of course, the city will be opening up the plaza for ice skating next weekend. So very exciting. We've been waiting forever for that.
I know. It's been a long time since we've been able to ice skate in Logan, and they've already got the ice down. I was taking some pictures of it the other day, and yeah, by next weekend, it's going to be perfect.
Yeah, it's all decorated up too. So when the lights go on here on Center Street, the lights are going to go on over at the plaza as well too, and it's going to be amazing. But starting at 1 o'clock, we've got a winter market here on Center Street, and so Center Street will be closed down, and we've got a winter market going on right here over by Great Harvest. There should be 16 to 20 vendors and food trucks as well too, and then also at 1 o'clock. Those food trucks will be open, so you can come have lunch and just come have a good time, go to the winter market, mess around, maybe go do some ice skating. But then there'll be like acts performing at the plaza throughout the afternoon. So there's a whole bunch of acts going on. And then the main event is going to be the parade, which is at 6 o'clock. So it's the Twinkle Light Christmas Parade. Santa's included in that. There'll be lights. And at the end of the parade, they'll turn on the lights and we'll like light up Center Street, like light up the plaza. And then you can stick around a little bit longer and kind of go to the winter market. But then at 8 o'clock, there are fireworks. And so the fireworks will be visible from the plaza and also from Center Street. They are sponsored by, of course, Anderson Seed and Garden and Cache Valley Electric. So we're super excited to have a nice fireworks display at 8 o'clock. And then at 8:15, there's a free movie at the Utah Theater. So we got tons of stuff going on. The Bluebird Candy Factory, they are unveiling their ornaments this year. They always put different ornaments in the windows. Yeah, so that's going on. I think that's at 5:15. And so they'll unveil the new ornaments there, and that should be a lot of fun too. And of course, open house this weekend at Anderson Seed and Garden. Tons of fun happening on Center Street next weekend with the Christmas parade and the tree lighting ceremony.
Yeah, great, getting you into the spirit of the holidays. That's what it's all about here at Anderson Seed and Garden over the next several weekends. We are live at Anderson Seed and Garden. Come on down. They're open till 6 tonight and all day tomorrow at 69 West Center in downtown Logan.
If you're looking for a place to host your holiday party, think Beehive Pub and Grill. Executive Chef Dustin McKay and his team will take care of your group with dozens of tasty entrees and desserts. Burgers, sandwiches, salads, and don't forget their famous turtle cake. Book the Logan restaurant by calling in for off-site catering. Beehive Pub and Grill is the perfect place to host your work or family party. Open 11 to 8:30 weekdays and 11 to 9 Friday and Saturday. Beehive Pub and Grill is perfect for the holidays.
Here's Chad, the lawn doctor, with a fall tip for your yard.
With a cooler summer and rain in the fall, lawns are looking good. Don't skip the last fertilizer application of the season. In fact, the fall application may be the most important of all. It's the one that gets your lawn through the winter and off to a great start in the spring. Call the lawn doctor at 753-LAWN and let's get your winter fertilizer application scheduled.
For a better-looking lawn next spring, call Lawn Doctor for your last lawn treatment of the season. Call 753-LAWN or go to LawnDoctorCacheValley.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. Keith Nelson, board-certified, fellowship-trained orthopedic surgeon, and I want to restore your active, pain-free life. I've been an innovator in the treatment of knee pain caused by arthritis and sports injuries for 27 years. I'm the only surgeon in northern Utah to offer Omnibotics, a robotic-assisted knee replacement for your arthritic knee, which has a 97% patient satisfaction rate. Don't live with your knee pain another day. Visit drkeithnelsonortho.com. That's drkeithnelsonortho.com.
Welcome back to KVNU's For the People. More listeners weighing in here. I had no idea that self-checkout could be such a passionate topic, but this would be the second day this week we've talked about it. But if you'd like to weigh in, 753-5868. Two different topics around self-checkout we've approached this week. One, earlier in the week, some detail from the National Retail Association showing that shoplifting is up and those self-checkout lines are likely to blame. And that's leading some major retailers to rethink what so far has been a move to almost entire self-checkout at some times of day, at least at certain major retailers. That may be changing based on this data out this week from the Retail Association. But the topic today was my own experience and an employee of an establishment, a large establishment with a lot of people that come through every day. Employees said, when things have been a little slow, they've timed people going through the checkout lines out of their own curiosity. And they've found that when there are lines, self-checkout is actually the slowest way out of the store. If there is a line at self-checkout and at the regular checkout stations, those with an actual human being are actually, they said, 4 times faster. My experience today would support that, definitely, though it's just one experience, not scientific. Another listener weighing in here via text. Listener says, or via the Google chat, I should say. Kids these days just call it text. Have you noticed that? Have you ever had anybody under 25 say text me recently? They don't mean text necessarily. They'll say text me, but it can mean direct message on Instagram, direct message on TikTok, Twitter even, a WhatsApp message, a Signal message. It can mean any of those. They just say text me. Do you know what it can't mean if they're under the age of 25 is a Facebook message. Because they're not using Facebook.
Oh, yeah. My grandpa has
that's for the olds.
I've heard of Facebook.
Well, that came out in 2008. Jeez.
It's so old.
That's ancient. Anyway, so text from a listener here saying that a listener that disagrees. And I'm happy to get one of these because so far, everybody's kind of agreed with me. Listener says, I absolutely disagree. The majority of times when you are in shopping, when disagreeing with my suggestion that the self-checkout is slower, probably more often than not. Listener says, this is what I disagree with because I'm not like this, but maybe more are. Listener says, most of the time when you go shopping, I would say the majority of the time, you are in there for a handful of items. Sure, you pick up a few things maybe you didn't plan on or don't even need, but you're leaving with those 3 items you came for and maybe 2 extra, and that is the way most people shop these days. So let me kind of rephrase what this listener is saying because it's an interesting proposition. Listener is saying the days of that weekly or if you're lucky, bi-weekly family grocery shopping trip. Did your family do that, Bill? Did y'all go out together to the grocery store once a week?
No, it's my mom. But sometimes I would tag along with my mom.
That's it? Okay.
So we went to Alexander's, which was our hometown grocery store.
My family did this, and it was the old Macy's. And I mean the old Macy's where Joann's.
Oh, I remember that, yeah. I was here then.
It was the old Macy's, and they had Donkey Kong right inside the door. So
that was a neat store.
So we'd walk in. My mom would hand me a roll of quarters and tell me I had to share them with my sister. My sister would get bored of the game and wander off, and I'd continue to use the quarters. And they'd grocery shop. I think it was weekly. We might have done every other week. But either way, it was a whole night event. And then we'd usually go get something to eat and things like that. So a listener is basically saying no one does that anymore, implying that because of that, self-checkout is more often. I said self-checkout is more often going to be slower. Listener is saying unless you're doing that big full shopping cart weekly grocery shopping trip, this listener disagrees. And I don't know if I can argue. That if that is the case, if fewer people are doing the big full shopping cart once a week grocery shopping trip for the entire household, or every other week if you're doing 2 carts maybe, then yeah. If that's rarely happening, I'm trying to remember the last time I saw that at a grocery store or retail store. The last time I saw someone with an entirely full cart, stuff on the bottom rack even, and maybe another cart behind them that their spouse is pushing. I can honestly say I can't remember the last time I saw that. But I hesitate to say it doesn't happen at all anymore. But maybe it's uncommon enough now these days that because I have seen some data that started with a look at the millennials shopping habits, and we're now into the years when, well, if not now, soon, Gen Z, they're going to be starting their families and be the ones out grocery shopping each week. Data I had seen on the millennials suggested that millennials had moved away from that one big shopping trip a week or every other week, that they went in, got what they needed for the next day or two, and that was it. And then, 2 days later, they went in, got what they needed for the next day or two. And I had seen some data suggesting that. So maybe that's true. Maybe that in that case, self-checkout might not be more often slower. Again, I've only got the experience today since I've been thinking about this, and what an employee of a large discount bulk sales warehouse, I'll put it that way, said to me that they'd timed it out of their own curiosity, and going through the standard checkout line with an actual human being scanning your items was 4 times faster if there was a line. This listener again saying they're not convinced of that because they believe it would only really be faster if you've got a cart full of items doing that once a week family shopping trip. So, yeah, if the majority of people are not shopping that way, then, self-checkout may actually more often be faster, and I'd have to stand corrected. I'm just not convinced more people are shopping that way. I think a lot of people are shopping that way, but I don't remember the last time I saw it, but I still believe most families, they're not shopping every 2 days like the single millennials are. They're going in once a week, or if they can, every other week, fill in a cart and fill in their cupboards in the fridge at home one time a week because they're raising kids. They can't be shopping every other night. That's my gut
Too much
instinct.
of an effort.
Yeah. So what do you think? 753-5868, or you can text in with the Google Chat. We are KVNU FTP on Google Chat, and we'll be back right after this.
Here at Anderson Seed and Garden, the Christmas open house continues through the weekend. Of course, they're open until 6 tonight. And then coming up tomorrow, we're here with Mark Anderson, and you've got Santa's going to be making a special visit.
Yes. Not only is the store completely decorated for the holidays, it's fun just to come in and get a feel for the holiday spirit that we have here. And there's so many families that I know of that this is one of their favorite holiday traditions, just to come in and kind of feel that spirit of Christmas that they pick up when they come here to Anderson's. But of course, we've got Santa coming to visit tomorrow at our Santa station. So out in one of our greenhouses, we've got a train that's all decorated. Santa's right there next to the train, and there's trees and a nice big chair, and it's a great place where you can get some awesome photos with Santa. He'll be here tomorrow from 1 until 4 o'clock. So tomorrow, I know it's kind of early. It's not quite Thanksgiving, but Santa's going to be here from 1 until 4 tomorrow. And then his schedule for the rest of the season, he'll be here on the evening of Monday, November 27th, because we've got our special Christmas tree mingle. It's when we shut all the lights off in the store except for the Christmas trees. Yeah, and it's just kind of an enchanting, really fun night. So that's the 27th of November. It's a Monday evening from 6 until 8. Santa will be here. Usually we have hot cocoa, and sometimes we have roasted chestnuts for you to try, but it's really a fun evening to come. Santa will be here for that. But he'll also be here on Saturday, December 2nd from 1 until 4. He'll be here on December 9th from 1 till 4, also a Saturday. He'll be here on Saturday, the 16th of December from 1 till 4, and also on the 23rd of December, right before Christmas. Santa will be here from 1 till 4 in our Santa station.
And you can also win some great prizes with the scavenger hunt that's continuing for the next couple of weeks. Come by and they'll give you all the details. We're at Anderson Seed and Garden, 69 West Center in downtown Logan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Keith Nelson, board-certified, fellowship-trained orthopedic surgeon, and I want to restore your active, pain-free life. I've been an innovator in the treatment of knee pain caused by arthritis and sports injuries for 27 years. I'm the only surgeon in northern Utah to offer Omnibotics, a robotic-assisted knee replacement for your arthritic knee, which has a 97% patient satisfaction rate. Don't live with your knee pain another day. Visit drkeithnelsonortho.com. That's drkeithnelsonortho.com.
Stotz Equipment, Your Cache Valley John Deere dealer has the equipment to tackle any job, big or small. Discover the perfect compact utility tractor or construction equipment to boost your productivity and make your tasks a breeze. They can't wait to meet you. Find out which tractor is right for you today. Stoats Equipment is located on 541 West 8th North in Preston. Visit the store or check them out online at stoatsequipment.com.
Are you a business owner or HR director that's frustrated with your current employee benefits? If you are confused about coverages and can't get a hold of your agent, it's time for a change. This is Matt Robbins with Quality First Insurance and Alera Benefits. As an independent agency, we will give you options. Let us give your benefits package a fresh look. Call Quality First Insurance and Alera Benefits today, 435-752-0101.
As we live longer, age really is just a number, but retirement is so much more than one. Edward Jones wants to know what you want out of retirement. Working together, you can look at the big picture and make a strategy to help you reach your goals. Because you can't prepare for the unexpected if you don't know where you're headed. Call one of these 7 branch locations in Cache Valley or go to edwardjones.com to get started today. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Welcome back to KVN News for the People. A tip for everyone. This comes after a reminder from a conversation I had with someone in my family who is going to be having just a fun time at a 4-hour defensive driving course, although they don't call it defensive driving anymore. It's called
offensive driving.
I don't remember what it's called now, and I just talked to him
How
about
to
it.
avoid an accident.
That's basically what it is. It's a driver's ed refresher, is what it is. But it's it's for people who haven't been in driver's eds for a few years or decades in some cases, like me. But it is. I'll confess, I actually enjoyed it. I had to take it because for a long time when I was young and a rebel, I drove to Ogden every day. Okay, I wasn't that young actually.
You were a rebel?
No. Not really. I was kind of when I was a teenager.
You were less of a rebel. You were more of a rebel.
Yeah, at this time I was not a rebel. I was actually a very responsible corporate employee making a decent corporate wage and a decent corporate job. Very adult. But I would have a tendency to lose track of the speed limit as I drove from Cache Valley to Ogden every day for 4 years. And I got a lot of tickets, a lot of speeding tickets. I never got one speeding ticket intentionally. Well, you know what I mean? Like I was never intentionally speeding and got a ticket. I would always get tickets when I just wasn't paying attention. And
that's what happens to me sometimes. I'll be just driving along.
Yeah.
I look down and I'm like, oh, I'm going 10 to 12 over.
That's what would happen. I'd just get thinking about something, and I would just be, it's hard not to go the speed of traffic. So if everyone else is going 10 over, it's kind of hard not to just be there with them, especially if you're not actively gauging your speed every 30 seconds. And so that's what would happen, and I'd be the unlucky one that got picked off by the police officer, but usually in Manaway. Wink, wink. But this is something that never happened to me. And now, so I ended up going to one of these classes for a 4-hour Saturday class because a court said, hey, well, the state said I had to. They said, you have too many points and you have to go now or your license will be suspended for 90 days. You have a choice. And of course, I chose the class, and it was interesting, actually, and I'm kind of glad I had to do it. And the points were off, and then I also told my insurance company got a discount on my insurance for about a year. So not bad. And what I didn't know about today and this class, and we've talked about this on the show before, and I remember we even discussed when this law was passed, but I'd completely forgotten about it until I talked to a friend in the family today who said they had to go do this. And I said, oh, too many points? Too many speeding tickets? No, one ticket. I said, what? One ticket and you have to go to defensive driving to a 4-hour class that costs you $60? And by the way, I think they do it at the Logan Rec Center now on Saturday mornings at like 7 a.m. or something. So, I mean, they make it painful on purpose, I think, is what I'm getting at. But this person said, yeah, one citation. But it's the did not get over for an emergency vehicle with flashing lights citation.
That's a big one, and a lot of people don't do that. Even if it's coming in the other lane of traffic towards you, you are supposed to to get over if you can.
Yeah, that was
safe.
Well, and get this: the officer that this person went past was so irritated, they actually called another officer and said, "This car's coming towards you." They did not get over when they went past me, and I don't feel like they slowed down. And so officer said, I actually saw that. He was up on the hill above them. Said, I saw that. I'll get him. And he did. And he was a witness to it, too. Anyway, just so you know, on top of a multi-$100 fine for this, I can't say exactly because each jurisdiction is going to be a little different on this because there's some discretion in state law on the fine. But this was more than $300 of a fine for this individual and a mandatory $60 4-hour defensive driving class that you have a month or 2 months to schedule and complete.
So they charge you the $60 for the class.
You pay $60 to take the class. If you don't take the class, your license is suspended for 90 days. And that is just for that that moving violation. And the reason is, again, this is a serious one because officers have been killed. The video in Sardine Canyon several years ago.
Oh, yeah.
That was awful.
Yeah.
That I'm so
on a Sunday, I think.
Oh, and that officer is still alive just blows me away. But basically, someone coming way too fast and didn't get over a lane away from them.
Yeah.
And that car, they slid, and I'm so surprised they did not kill that highway patrol officer. But yeah, so it is a serious
deal.
And
you see that around the Salt Lake area every winter.
Yeah. Yeah.
The dash cam video of it.
And it's such an easy thing to do to get over when you see those lights. That is mandatory on that citation. So something for everybody to know.